Hello, everybody. It's that time again. It's week 3, Digital Film Lighting 1. This is your live session go-to training. I'm Michael Walsh, Professor Walsh, your instructor and host of this evening's discussion. Welcome, everybody, to the video chat. As you know, in order to conserve bandwidth for all of the pages I like to open in these training sessions, I've been going with my headshot for a number of weeks now, and I'm sporting a new one tonight for anybody who's been keeping track. This is from a shoot last summer, and you can see I was sporting the Sony FS7 on this particular day. And someone snapped this photo for me from the cruise, kind enough to supply me with a copy. I thought he did a really nice job. Shout out to Phil. Thank you so much for that. Welcome. And tonight we're talking about week 3 concepts. So let me get this control panel out of the way here. And let's go to the LMS. See you later, Mikey. And let's take a look at what we got. Okay, so the week opens pretty much like the other two. The same way week 4 is going to open. We're going to have the registration opportunity for you here for the go-to sessions. This is for your live admission. And then we have the recorded video from the session that you can access after tonight. You can check it out at your leisure. I just like to go over the expectations for each week in these go-to training sessions, field any questions that anybody has at the end, and just go over the basic assignments and what's expected of each of those objectives for the week. And then we'll call it an evening. We'll motion to adjourn. So what have we got this week? So we're going to be taking a look at your read and view. The concept for this week is controlling light. And I've got a couple of chapters for you to take a look at from the 5th edition of the Mike Uva grip book. If any of you are familiar with this series of books by Mike Uva, Mike is a friend of mine and a professional key grip in Hollywood. And he is just recently retired, as a matter of fact, and is publishing the 6th edition of the grip book, in which I have been asked to write a cover endorsement. So anyone who picks up a copy of the 6th edition this spring will be able to read the endorsement by yours truly in some obscure corner of the book, I'm sure. But he's a great guy. He's a very experienced grip. He's been doing it a long time. The grip book, which will be in its 6th edition, spans about 30 years in the industry. I remember I have the 1st edition, which I carried around in my gear bag for a number of years when I was young and learning in the business, and kept it around for light reading and for quick reference because there was some interesting things in it regarding car mounts and camera mounts that I frequently consulted as I was rigging cameras and things on a variety of different shows. In this particular reading assignment, we've got the introduction of the grip book and then the essential equipment section, which is, it's fairly long and it's got a lot of different bits and gadgets in it. I just want you to skim that chapter. You don't have to close read it. Just so you get some of the lingo and you look at some of the apparatus that we discuss and get some brief descriptions and applications for those gimmicks, we call them. And I want you to check out the Lighting for Digital Video text. All of this, by the way, you're going to access through your Safari textbook resource. Chapter 5, Lighting Controls and Uses. Check out all the headings in that chapter. That's the John Jackman book, for those of you who will be checking that out. Both of these are pretty good books. I'm partial to the Grip book by Mike, not only because he's a good friend and a prior collaborator, but also because it's a really good resource, and it's something that not a lot of folks think about until they get into a situation and they realize, I need help shaping my light on set. And so that's what the grips do. That's what their gear is for. So the grips are an understated or an unsung group of heroes on the set that help us every day with our lighting assignments, and with our camera movements, things of that nature. And they deserve more credit, and they deserve more notoriety than they receive. Okay, after your reading assignment, you're going to have your viewing assignment, just like every week. I've got a fun one here for you by Mark Vargo. It's called Grip It Good. It's a brief look at video gear, and a kind of a fun sort of staged video that he does for us. Mark Vargo is a director of photography in Hollywood. But he's very much into the education mindset, and he loves to pass on knowledge that he's learned over the years. So we appreciate what Mark Vargo does. We have a nice video on flagging and shaping light, and using flags to control shadow and light. Those are a couple of really great tutorials. Check them out. Give you some ideas about how you can control and shape the lighting that you're doing for your video assignments. We also have my video discussion, Gripology, on various clamps and so forth. This was my FaceTime video from last year. Since I put it up on my YouTube page, I think it's my second most popular video. I'm not sure why, except that people seem to really respond well to a discussion about grip clamps. So more power to you. Thank you for watching. Here we also have a nice video on using reflectors. And this is something that we touch on here in the chapter, and we want to give you a sort of a nice overview of bounce light, reflected light with shiny boards, the various surfaces that you can bounce light off of, the idea that light reflected off of a surface can often maintain some of the color qualities from the surface that it reflected from. Keep that in mind when you're selecting reflectors. That's why we pick the purest white bounce boards that we can find, so that they are neutral when they bounce light off of them. Or you can purposely pick different colors of either cardboard or mylar or textile that reflect a certain color quality that you want. I remember a very long walk and talk with Gretchen Mall on the beach in South St. Petersburg one year for the movie Forever Mine, where part of her wardrobe and proppage was a pink parasol, and she's walking down the beach talking with Ray Liotta, and the grips, instead of using a white bounce, which would have been everybody's obvious first choice, they went with a piece of dyed textile that the key grip had taken and dyed pink, just some muslin. He dyed it pink so that when the sun bounced off it, it would reflect pink light into Gretchen's face that would simulate the sunlight passing through the canopy of her parasol. So very interesting stuff. We talk about it here. A few simple things about making your exterior lighting better, and a little bit of DIY here. We talk about the DIY bounce boards, which you can pick up at Home Depot, Lowe's, or your local hardware store. We talk about black wrap, which is available from Film Tools online, filmtools.com out of Burbank. Gaffer's tape, one of the most important things we have on set next to black wrap, also available either from Amazon.com, Gaffer's tape, or through filmtools.com in Burbank. And then we've got another video here, a little how-to video on bounce light. So this is a pretty nice read and review session for week 3. It's all about gripology, we call it, grip lighting, if you will. Check it out. It's a lot of fun. Most folks seem to enjoy it. If you want more information on some of these concepts, you can go to the additional resources section of week 3, and you can find some more recommended reading. From the Set Lighting Technician's Handbook, we got Manipulating Light, Tools, Techniques, and Behaviors. We also have from Motion Picture and Video Lighting 2nd edition, Gripology, and the Introduction to Speed Rail PDF, which was produced by yours truly. We also have here a couple of really great videos by Mike Uva. The following short grips are from the original grip book, the CD version of the book, where Mike talks about various bits of grip equipment that you might encounter on a grip truck or on a set. Each one of these videos is very short, 15 to 30 seconds in length, sometimes a minute. Just long enough to show you the tool, show you what it's used for, give you the names, the slang names, and the nicknames, and then he likes to move on. So it's a great section for additional resources. If you get the time and you feel like checking it out, I recommend it. So if we go back to the schedule for the week, so we talked about our read and view, and our discussion will be from your read and view, and the discussion will center on gripology. And hopefully what we can do is get a stimulating conversation going about grip tools, the grip department in general, the role of the grips as a crew, and how the grip department and their apparatus can help to improve the quality of our lighting. So check out the discussion 3.1. It's gripology, and the topic is how can grip partners and grip tools affect and improve the quality of my lighting. So that's a fun discussion. Usually folks have a lot of wisdom to share there, or a lot of excitement over some new concepts that they're picking up out of the reading. Either way, it should be a pretty good discussion. You'll have a quiz, as usual, open book knowledge check for week 3 on week 3 concepts, and then project 3.3, which everybody seems to like. It's been really popular since I designed it about a year and a half ago. The shot clock, and I've got a little quick look at the overview here. The exercise explores beyond 3-point lighting. You're going to refine the standard key light discussions from earlier classes by exploring variations in texture and shape different key light positions have on your subject as it relates to mood or tone. So basically, we're going to start thinking about our key light as a nonverbal communicator, and depending on where we place it, we can infer certain moods or tones in the visuals, which ideally will support the narrative. So we're talking about our nonverbal lighting communication here. The position of the key light can have a pronounced effect on the way the viewers perceive characters and their portrayals. So you'll be doing that. There's a little quick video here called Sparkles and Wine that I found on the internet, and I thought you might like it. It's from petapixel.com, and it's a quick 2-minute teaser put up by a French musical group called Opal. And it's basically a subject in the center of frame, and the camera is going to observe light as it rotates around the subject and changes colors, and you can pay attention to how the different positions affect the image of the girl and the sort of mood or tone that we perceive from those positions and from those colors. So that's a lot of fun. The downloads have your instructions, which are here. The shot clock instructions going to tell you what the basic point of this assignment is, what you're going to need, how to prepare, and how to create the content for your submission. And we're going to have some submission instructions and then your rubric if you want to see how I'll be breaking down your performance to evaluate and grade your project. There's also a tips PDF that I recommend you download. It's a little bit more on the explanation of the how and the why of the assignment. Check it out. I think you'll find it interesting. I put that together for you myself. And of course, download the worksheet because you'll have things that you'll need to do. You'll be, I have it here. Yeah, here we go. Here's the explanation of how you're going to begin. It's telling you what positions that your lights will need to be in. So we've got 3 vertical positions: 45-degree beauty, eye level, subjective, and low angle interpretive lighting. And then you have all of the positions around the clock that we want you to position your key light and then evaluate your results. What you're going to do is shoot video, and your camera will be stationary, your subject will be stationary, and then you'll place one light. That's all you need. You don't need an edge light. You shouldn't have any house lights on or any lights from the room you're in. No fill light, just the key light, so you can see how it shapes and renders your subject from these critical points on the shot clock. If your subject is in the center of the clock and the camera's at 6 o'clock, you'll maybe start at noon, 3 positions at noon, then jump to 1, 3, 5, 6, 7, 9, and 11. Each time you change to a different point on the shot clock, you're going to shoot a high, an eye level, and a low angle key light so you can see how that lighting looks on your subject. Then you're going to grab some thumbnails from your video and you're going to import them into this worksheet so that you've got each of your positions from each of your clock positions, a little thumbnail that I can take a look at and evaluate the quality of your lighting. Now, since the camera doesn't move and your subject doesn't move, you should have the same subject size through each of these thumbnails, and you're going to want to make sure that you balance your exposures each time you move that light. So let's not see a variety of different exposures and a variety of different head sizes. There's no reason for that to happen. You should be shooting a loose single, 2 buttons or a necktie of your subject so that we can look at the light as it renders on the face. If you want to include a little bit of the bust, the shoulders, that's fine, but let's not shoot any wides, full bodies, or anything of that nature. I don't recommend shooting stuffed animals for this exercise. It doesn't tend to go well. Furry animals generally look best front lit or back lit, and everything else in between is going to be a wash. So don't shoot stuffed animals. Shanghai somebody, borrow somebody for the day, woo them into helping you, offer them baked goods or dinner out, whatever you got to do. But find somebody that you can work with. Filmmaking is about stories, and stories are about people. So let's shoot people in our assignments and do it in a way that, remember, every time you have a shooting assignment in this class or any of your other technical classes, that is an opportunity for you to create content for your portfolio down the road. So do a good job, practice good craftsmanship each time you submit an assignment. I will grade and consider those things in the grading process, so do your best job possible. I'm going to ask you to give me a little bit of an analysis at the end of this. Nothing too heavy. Just tell me what you saw in relation to moving the key light around. What impressions did you get of the lighting? Did you see the possibility for nonverbal communication by moving the key light? Did it suggest different moods or tones each time you positioned it in a different place? And what are your thoughts on that, and how can it apply to your future projects or work that you will be doing at a later date? So that's the gist of the project. And that's the gist of the week, folks. I mean, that's what we're doing. It's week 3. It's controlling light is the heading for week 3. And we're taking a serious look at this, and this is something that we are going to come back to time and again through lighting 2 and also through cinematography 1 and 2. And I'll be there with you each step of the way to manage your expectations, your technical expertise, and any of your questions and issues that you might have. I look forward to working with you on these concepts. They are the most important things, in my opinion, to good cinema. That's quality and creative lighting. That is excellence in camera achievement, and that includes camera movement and the way we use our light to interpret our stories, and how we collaborate with our art departments and individuals on the crew to create the most inspiring and appropriate images that we can for the content that we're shooting. It's a subject that's very close to my heart. I'm very passionate about it, and hopefully I will infect you as well with my passion and my desire for creativity, so that I create in you new generations and legions of lighting technicians and cinematographers. So think about that, and if you have any questions, as usual, you can contact me through email. You can also leave me a message on my office phone and I will call you back. That's what I have for you this evening. I appreciate your attention, and I don't see any questions or comments, so I'm going to take it that everybody is fairly comfortable with what I've presented this evening. Again, if you have any questions, drop me a line and I'll be happy to address that with you. And thanks for your attention this week and each week. Thanks for the looks on the live session video portion of each week. I know that you folks are checking in and looking at the videos, and I appreciate that. I hope they're helpful. So that's it. Have a good evening, and I will talk to you again very soon. See you around the LMS. Thanks.